The concept of the perfect arsenal is something that keeps serious shooters awake at night. We are constantly balancing the scales between history and modernity, between the raw stopping power needed to drop a charging grizzly and the logistical efficiency required to survive a societal collapse. Today, we are not just looking at guns, we are looking at solutions. We are merging the world of the classic American hunter with the gritty reality of the modern survivalist. On one hand, we have the heritage of the .30-06 Springfield, a cartridge that our grandfathers carried through 2 world wars and that has defined American rifle history for over a century. It is the benchmark for do-it-all versatility, capable of loading light for varmints or heavy for the biggest game walking the North American continent. On the other hand, we have the tools built for the dark days, the firearms designed to keep you safe when the lights go out. The shelves are empty and the normal rules of society no longer apply. We have curated a definitive list of 7 firearms. These are not safe queens. These are working tools. We have the sidearms that set the global standard for duty use, the shotguns that have ridden in police cruisers for decades, and the rifles that are built to disappear into a backpack or dominate the deer woods. Whether you are preparing for an economic collapse in 2025 or just looking for that one rifle to pass down to your children, this lineup represents the pinnacle of reliability, versatility, and engineering. Let us break them down. If we are going to talk about the .30-06 cartridge, we have to talk about the rifle that earned the title of the Rifleman's Rifle. This is the Winchester Model 70 Featherweight. This platform first hit the scene way back in 1936, and over the decades it has seen countless refinements, but it remains a benchmark for American bolt actions. When you hear old-timers talk about a rifle that feels like it was carved from a single piece of history, this is what they are holding. The featherweight version lives up to its name, tipping the scales between 6 and 1/2 to 7 pounds. But do not let that lighter weight fool you into thinking it is fragile. This rifle never feels cheap or flimsy in the hands. The action locks up with the authority of a bank vault, a feeling that inspires total confidence when you are deep in the backcountry. The combination of deep, polished blued steel and warm walnut furniture gives it a timeless aesthetic that screams classic hunting iron. But this is not just a wall hanger, it is a precision tool. The accuracy comes from a free-floating, cold, hammer-forged barrel. It is a 22-inch tube, which provides a perfect balance of handling speed while still being long enough to stretch the .30-06 cartridge out to its full ballistic potential. The trigger is a single-stage unit that is rugged enough to take a beating in the field, yet breaks crisply enough for precision work. Capacity sits at 5 rounds, fed right from the top into the internal magazine, maintaining the rifle's sleek lines. Everything about the featherweight is streamlined, from the way it carries in the woods to how naturally it comes up on target. It is not just a tool, it is a genuine piece of American firearms history that is still earning its keep today. We shift from the precision of the bolt action to the raw, undeniable versatility of the scattergun. This is the Mossberg 500 pump-action shotgun. Since the 1960s, this shotgun has been an absolute workhorse, serving in police cruisers with the U.S. military and in deer camps all across the country. It is flat out one of the most proven pump-action designs ever manufactured. The reason it ranks so high on a survival list comes down to one word: versatility. In a collapse scenario, you need a gun that can do everything. You load this with birdshot and you are effectively harvesting small game for the pot. You switch to buckshot and you have a devastating home defense tool capable of stopping a threat instantly. You drop in a slug and now you are hunting deer or defending your property out to respectable distances. That kind of flexibility is irreplaceable when the world goes sideways. The design is simple, rugged, and nearly bomb-proof. A pump action does not care if it is dirty, muddy, or neglected. It will cycle and fire when a lot of semi-automatics would choke. The Mossberg 500 typically offers a capacity of 5 to 8 shells in the tube, depending on the model. One feature that sets it apart is the top-mounted tang safety, which is completely ambidextrous. It does not matter if you are left-handed, right-handed, or forced to switch shoulders due to injury. That safety is right under your thumb where you need it. One of the most innovative pistol caliber carbines on the market, the Kel-Tec Sub-2000. This rifle has carved out a serious niche with preppers and survivalists for one massive reason: concealability. This weapon collapses down smaller than just about anything else in its category. You simply unlock the trigger guard, fold the barrel back over the receiver, and the whole gun locks up at just over 16 inches in length. That means you can throw it in a backpack, keep it in a laptop bag, or stash it under a seat, and it completely disappears. Now, the chambering is where the Sub-2000s really starts to make logistical sense. You can get this in 9mm or 40 S&W. While a pistol caliber does not have the range of a rifle, it offers a major step up in terminal performance compared to a .22, yet the ammo is cheap and absolutely everywhere. Here is the real tactical advantage: magazine compatibility. Kel-Tec was smart enough to design different versions of this carbine to feed from the most common pistol magazines in the world. You can get a version that takes Glock mags, Smith & Wesson, M and P mags, or Sig Sauer mags. Think about the implications of that in a survival scenario. You can run the exact same ammunition and the exact same magazines between your sidearm, like the Glock 17 we mentioned earlier, and your carbine. That simplifies your logistics, and when resources are scarce, logistics is everything. Next, we have a true icon that blends classic aesthetics with modern firepower, the Browning BAR Mark III. This is where the old-world charm of a hunting rifle meets the engineering of a battle-proven semi-auto. The BAR has been putting meat on the table for decades, and the Mark III model shows exactly why this design is still so dominant. It is a gas-operated semi-automatic running a long-stroke piston system. Just like the Benelli R1, that gas system does wonders for taming the recoil of the .30-06 cartridge. It keeps the rifle incredibly smooth, making follow-up shots almost effortless, which is critical if you are engaging multiple targets or trying to anchor a running animal. At the heart of the action is a heavy-duty 7-lug rotating bolt head that provides an exceptionally strong lockup. That robust design is why the BAR was one of the very first semi-auto rifles to be successfully chambered in powerful Magnum cartridges. While some modern iterations use detachable box magazines, the classic .30-06 versions like this one often feed from a traditional hinged floor plate magazine. This maintains those clean, sleek lines and gives it the familiar handling that traditional hunters love. A huge part of the appeal is the look and feel. You get rich walnut stocks and deep polished blued steel. It stands out in a world full of black polymer, performing like a cutting-edge semi-auto but carrying the soul of a classic deer rifle. Kicking off the rimfire segment of our list, we have the Ruger 1022 Takedown. This rifle lands here because it perfectly nails that balance of practicality, portability, and dead simple reliability. Chambered in .22 long rifle, this little semi-auto has earned its stripes the hard way, with over 7 million of these rifles sold. It has been a trusted platform for decades by preppers, small game hunters, and folks just teaching their kids to shoot. The takedown version is where things get interesting for survival. With one simple mechanism, this rifle splits clean in half into 2 compact pieces. You can drop it in a day pack or stash it in your bug-out bag, and nobody knows it is there. The .22 long rifle cartridge itself is a prepper's best friend because it is lightweight, quiet, and incredibly efficient for taking small game. You can carry hundreds of rounds without even noticing the weight, which is impossible with centerfire ammunition. On top of all that, the 1022 has one of the biggest aftermarket ecosystems on the planet. Barrels, triggers, and stocks are all widely available, meaning you can customize nearly every single part to fit your exact survival loadout. It is reliable, it is ubiquitous, and it is an essential tool for food gathering when you need to keep a low profile. Claiming our final spot is a firearm that was built from the ground up for one purpose and one purpose only: survival. This is the Springfield Armory M6, also reimagined today as the Chiappa M6 Scout Modern. This is not your typical rifle, nor is it your typical shotgun. It is a hybrid combination gun with one barrel stacked over the other. The concept goes all the way back to the Cold War, where the U.S. military wanted a minimalist survival gun for pilots who might find themselves stranded deep behind enemy lines. The answer was to create a single weapon that could both harvest food and provide defense without weighing the operator down. The M6 uses a dual-barrel setup. Up top, you will typically find a .22 long rifle or a .22 Hornet barrel, and below that, you get a 410 bore shotgun barrel. That pairing is what makes this platform genius. The .22 barrel gives you precision, letting you take small game like squirrels and rabbits quietly without wasting meat. Then you flip a selector switch, and you have the 410 barrel ready to go. Suddenly, you can take down larger game or put a defensive load into a predator that gets too close. Portability is unmatched. The entire firearm cracks open and folds neatly in half, allowing you to pack it into any rucksack or stow it behind a truck seat. In a collapse scenario where you may only be able to have one long gun, the M6 gives you options that no other single firearm on this list can match. This discussion is not about fear, it is about preparedness. It is about having the right tool for the job when the job is staying alive. We have looked at rifles that honor the legacy of the American woodsman with the 30-06, and we have looked at the modern tools designed to navigate the chaos of a societal breakdown. From the battle-proven reliability to the sheer utility of the M6 Scout, each of these firearms earns its place in a serious collection. I want to know what you think. What is in your survival locker? Did we miss a classic 30-06 that deserves a mention? Drop a comment down below and let us know your number one pick. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button, get subscribed to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you do not miss what is coming next. Stay safe and stay prepared.